Come with me to a very special place. This is one of the most slept on places that people cannot believe was there and wish that they had actually visited during their time in Israel. So this is where you would come on the southern side of the Temple Mount to get one of the most free and most exhilarating tours that you could ever imagine if you really love ancient Israel, because you can literally track and follow the steps of ancient rabbis, including Jesus Christ. Let's take a look at how this used to look back in the day. All right, so as we approach, notice to the left that these are some ancient steps. Now, these are just not any steps. This is what most would call the teaching steps or the rabbi steps. Now, back in ancient times, this is actually where many ancient rabbis would stand and then they would talk down to their people. Now, one ancient rabbi by the name of Jesus Christ would often teach here to his disciples. I am currently standing on what we call the teaching steps. So this is where Jesus spoke. He stood right about there and he talked down. Now these steps to your right actually led to the Holda gates, which was the primary entrance into the Temple Mount in the time of Christ. Now here's the thing. I would say about 95% of the people who come to the southern side of the Temple Mount, they go right to the teaching steps and then they leave, but no one actually explores. All of this is free for you to explore. Now these are ruins. Some amazing history is here. Now a lot of this used to be where, for example, the rabbis would come and take sacred baths before they enter the temple, and there's a lot left over that's still intact. So this is just amazing. Why wouldn't you want to explore this? So let me just take you on a tour and we'll explore together. How are you guys liking this so far? If you would visit here and actually explore these ruins like I did, go ahead and let me know. Drop a comment right now to say yes you would or no you wouldn't. Now let me tell you guys a quick story. This will be interesting. So when Neil Armstrong visited Israel in 1994, he asked his host if there was a place where Jesus would have walked without a doubt 2,000 years ago. Now his host, who was archaeologist Meir Ben Dov, and the excavator of the Temple Mount and southern walls in Jerusalem answered that the southern steps were, for sure, the steps that Jesus would have used when he walked up to the mount. So then Mr. Astronaut, Mr. Armstrong, bent down and kissed the ground, saying that this was an even more exciting moment for him than walking on the moon. If you were going to go today to Israel, if there were no war and everything was peaceful, right, and you wanted to walk where you knew for sure that Jesus would have walked, you would go to the southern steps. Now, this may be boring to some of you, but for me, this was amazing because if you're like me, right, you like any ancient history. And so for me, it was just hard for me to even fathom that I'm literally taking the steps and walking in rooms that were thousands of years old. Now, one thing I really learned about the ancient city and Israel, Jerusalem, this whole area while I was here is that these back in the day, they just used to continue to build on top of civilizations. Like they would just continue to build on top of build on top of build of all of this history. So even me squeezing into these rooms, just knowing that I'm literally walking through history. This is like a 3D history book. So amazing.
Oh. Squeeze through here. Oh, it's tight.
So after you finish squeezing through really tight spaces, you come back out, go up some stairs, and boom, you're right back here where we started before we even went to the teaching steps. I hope you guys enjoyed this.